So I think he should probably be stripped of his frisbee, stripped of his title, and maybe fined as well for malpractice. So
And shamed publicly.
Yeah, publicly shamed.
I'm open.
Welcome
I'm
to
open,
the
I'm open, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open.
podcast with Ryan, Joe, Andrew, Sam. Yeah, so I have something serious to talk about today. I moved into a new apartment, as you might be able to tell. I'm standing up as I record this, and it's not because I'm a trendy standing desk guy now. It's because I don't have a chair. And sadly, I won't be able to get a chair unless you subscribe and buy merch from us. And maybe spread the word with the hashtag Get Sam a Chair.
Love that.
That's all I ask.
One
This man a chair.
One subscribe equals one prayer to Sam's chair fund.
I've
My legs are
10
tired.
times.
Thank you.
We'll
Like,
do
I
the
want to
math.
sit down.
We'll do the math on how many hats or teddy bears. I feel like one teddy bear.
Yeah. And I want
one teddy bear should do it easy.
I want a good chair. I don't want like a shitty chair. I want something comfy.
Right.
Like I deserve that.
Yeah. If you're on the fence on getting a merch or getting some merch, I would highly recommend getting a hat. You can wear it to pick up. You can wear it all around. You know, it's leisurely, it's comfy, it's cool. It's got a sick logo on the front.
Or if you want to join the Leffler restraining order club, you can get the Leffler t-shirt with his very zoomed in face on it. And, you know,
that's true.
Solid. It's a fashion statement for sure.
I can't recommend that line enough, actually.
Actually, get it while you can, because we might be in for a rude awakening very soon.
That's so true.
When he comes on the pod, allegedly, who knows what he's going to tell us.
Yeah.
So
all right,
buy the merch while you can.
Anyway, that out of the way, let's get into, I think just tier talk is all we're going to do. I wanted to open up tier talk with an image that I think might frame some of the discussion in front of us today.
Is this what I think it's going to be? Oh, it's not what I...
This is
right
what the score was at halftime of the Dallas game.
You know what's funny is like that's really bad if that's like an NFL score. You know.
Okay. At halftime, I was ready to put Legion and Mechanics tier. I'll just say it. But we have to talk about the second half. We have to talk about the second half.
Do we?
Yeah,
I mean, like the second half, I did not.
If games were decided by one half, then it wouldn't make any sense. But you know, our tier talk would be totally different.
Well, regardless of which half we were considering, it was not that close.
Yeah. Also, like if you're up 19-3, I think that's decided. And also, you're not gonna play as hard the second half. But anyway,
fine. Fair.
I just wanted to bring that up because I wanted to say, should there be two teams down there? Should we add another row? Like, I don't know.
That's a great question. First of all, Sam, love the setup you have here as always. We can see the scores. You're killing it. Yeah, second of all, that is a big question because Mechanics tier is called Mechanics tier for a reason because there's one team that belongs there. Do we really think that Legion stooped to their level?
Well, just a caveat here. Last year, I think we did have the Cannons in Mechanics tier for a while.
Oh, we did.
I think so.
Yeah. So I don't think there's an exception. I don't think there's a rule or based on, you know, our past tier list where we can't put another team there.
Okay.
So
valid.
If we want to start there, we'll scroll down. What was the final score of that game? I know we were talking about the first half, but I just want to show the audience. All right. They did pull a little
31-17.
bit closer and put up a respectable 14 points in the second half.
14
Yeah, but,
points in
like,
one half
who
is
cares?
fine. Yeah, but also like Seoul probably just like let their foot off the gas a little bit too. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I'm just saying right now we've got Houston in there, and Houston did, like, they lost comfortably to the Soul, but they did fine.
They okay, yeah, we have something to compare now because they both played the same team and one did markedly better than the other.
Right.
Here's what I think. I think we can move the Havoc and the Nitro up one tier, and then we can have Legion F Mechanics tier. What do you guys think about that? Not to jump ahead, but I thought the Nitro played themselves out of F tier personally.
Yeah,
The
I
Nitro
definitely
win?
think.
No,
No, they lost a close one.
No, they looked good. Sorry. I agree with you. I was looking at scores from last year to compare Detroit and this Legion game. And Detroit got 30 plus put on them 3 times last year. One of which was a 33-19 game, so very similar. That was against the Wind Chill. So I don't know. I didn't really feel like that information helped me, but it was the information I found while I was distracted now. So do with that what you will.
I mean, that's an argument for just leaving Nitro and I think we have to separate Nitro and Havoc from Legion somehow. So whether it's move Legion down or move both of them up, I'm cool with either. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I think Nitro should go up personally.
yeah. I think Nitro should go up, but I think Houston, we were happy with them as F, and then
Yeah, that's true. They didn't do any. They didn't play any games.
they
So
didn't
why
do
would we
anything.
move
Yeah.
them? Yeah.
So then to separate the
Legion goes-
Legion, we'd move them down. I think the Legion belong in Mechanics tier right now, but
Okay.
I don't want to strong arm that.
I kind of agree actually.
With Legion Mechanics.
Yeah,
tier?
I mean, now that I think about it, this was my prediction going into the season was that Legion was somehow going to be worse than what they were last year, and last year was really fucking bad.
Yeah.
And I think they just showed us in that first half they're exactly what I thought they'd be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They are who we thought they were,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
we can't let them off the hook. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had some of their players not super happy with us when we posted our like spookometer, I think it was. And yeah, sorry guys, but this ain't gonna do it for us. Like
Yeah. I mean, yeah, next week they have Houston, so we can see if they can hang with Houston and then they can go back up. But based on those 2 results being all we have, I feel like Houston's probably going to win that game.
It
Or
is
at
also
least
more points
we would
than
expect
Dallas
that.
gave up at any point last year.
So they have gotten worse.
yeah.
Okay. So Legion down. Havoc F, Nitro.
I feel like there also maybe should be an argument that it hurts to say, but like Detroit hasn't played a game, and it kind of feels wrong to have them be a definitive lower tier than a team that just did that.
Dude, they're the Mechanics. Like they're Mechanics tier until they're not.
I'm not.
Bro, they
I'm
haven't
not
won a
arguing
game
for
in
Mechanics to
62
be
games.
pulled up. I'm not even arguing for Mechanics to be higher than the Legion in this tier. I'm just arguing for the Legion looking like doo doo.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, so do you is it
Yeah,
are
he's
we happy-
saying like Detroit has to earn it in the opposite way to be by themselves at the bottom.
Okay.
They have to
yes.
earn their spot at the bottom.
Okay.
Because
Well,
Legion made
Misery-
a strong case.
Misery
So,
loves
yeah.
company.
Yeah, okay. So we did that. Houston didn't play. Nitro are up to D. That game was very close, and the Nitro were winning for a lot of it. So
I
where
think
in
the
D
Nitro
or in C?
I think the Nitro have for sure cemented themselves above the Cascades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
but I
That's
don't think we can move them up to C for a loss. That's my
Yeah.
take.
I feel the exact
I
same way.
I don't necessarily think we should move them up, but I also feel like we shouldn't use our first tier list as like truth. We hadn't seen anybody, we didn't know what these teams were going to do. And if we thought Portland was going to be garbage and they looked nothing like garbage, I don't think we should necessarily be like, no, we can't put them in C because they lost. I don't know. I don't know if I even think they deserve to be in C, but I would be like okay with moving them up after a loss because I don't like their first ranking was just based on them being garbage last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Joe. I looking at the C tier, personally I think Rush is definitely going down, but we can wait to that. The Spiders, I don't know where to put them. But other than those two teams, like I think there's a tier separation between the Nitro and the Phoenix. Like I think the Phoenix, especially because they play in the East and they play tight games against those top teams in the East. Like I think they are a tier above Nitro, who plays a tight game against the Shred. So I don't really want to put them on the same tier list or the same tier level as the Phoenix.
Yeah, I think we're all saying the same thing. Like, I think maybe if they won and maybe they won a little more convincingly, then I think there's an easy C tier argument. But like, they lost, but they looked better than we thought they were, and F just kind of feels wrong. So yeah, I mean, we could talk about where in D. I kind of feel okay about like I'm looking at these other D teams, and I'm like, I would kind of take the Nitro over most of these
Yeah,
guys.
I
I
think
don't
so
know.
too.
They looked pretty good.
Yeah,
My only other thing is like the same shit happened last year. They lost a close one
Yeah.
to Colorado, and then they were terrible because they
Fair.
didn't have buy-in from their like players. So like,
Yeah.
you know, that could happen
Yeah.
again.
And when that happens, we'll move them down. And like,
Yeah, fair.
and
Fair, yeah.
I'm fine with like movement based on week to week, and then we just adjust.
Yeah, that's also
Yeah.
valid.
I think I'm
But
good with that.
I think top of D is cool. Any last thoughts on that?
I'll just say, looking ahead to next week, they play LA, and I think if they have the same squad that they did, that could be a pretty interesting game. Like I wouldn't feel strongly picking the Aviators outright in that one if the Nitro looked like they did last week. But that's for future us to watch and react to.
Yeah, gotcha.
Then let's see, the Growlers lost, to the Summit
lost
by
big.
7. That's
like a D team playing an A team. I don't know.
So they lost by 7 to the Summit. And honestly, my takeaway from this game and correspondent Kyle's takeaway is the Growlers look like doo-doo. And oh my God, as a Summit fan watching this weekend, it is so hard to watch a team with so much talent just throw the disc away so many times. Like this game should have been a 10, 15 point like difference, but the Summit D line, they'd get the turn because like I think it was either Lepler or someone in the AUDL tweeted it was like the amount of blocks the Summit generated is insane. But then they just turn it over and over again. 14. Like it's tough. So I think the Growlers can actually play themselves to below the Cascades. I can't wait for them to play each other. As of now, they're kind of like just with the West teams, I think they're in between the Nitro and the Cascades. It's just hard to tell.
Really quick, just in terms of fun, because I didn't watch a ton of this game, but I did. I was kind of tuning into some of the Aviators game, not to like get too ahead of ourselves. But what was the final score of Aviators Summit? And was it that much
I think
different?
it was a 4-point game.
Okay, that's much.
Game.
Okay, that's much different. But they didn't. They only scored a couple more goals than the Growlers did, honestly. But that's definitely a different. That's a much different looking score. So
yeah, it's a lot less points.
Do we Do we want to drop Growlers down a little bit? Like maybe Glory deserves a little bit of a bump for just taking care of
Oh,
business.
I mean,
Yeah,
Glory.
to get to
Certainly.
We can
I
talk
mean,
about Glory, but that's gonna be a major shake up when we get to that game.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying like move Glory. Oh yeah, it's true because they did
Oh,
beat.
Glory is not in D tier anymore.
Yeah,
They
I'm
might
with
play
that.
themselves into D tier when they go away out of Boston, but they can't be in D tier after this week.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you just switch him with Rush.
They beat a Rush by 11. Like
Yeah.
that's a
Mhm.
fucking beatdown.
Yeah,
And when I
Rush
was
had a
yeah.
bad weekend.
and I was at that game, and like it really just looked. Glory didn't look like they were just like had like unstoppable all stars. They just played fundamentally sound ultimate the whole game, and the Rush did not. And like the Rush had no way of coming back. They kept like their like the Glory's defense was just strong the whole time, and yeah.
Mhm.
And
Uh,
wasn't it like the Northeast College Regionals this season? So I'm sure the Glory were still missing people.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Um.
and
So
the
this
Glory
is
also asked us to drop them in the tier list. So
Too bad.
unfortunately, they played way too well for that.
Yep.
they wanted to go to F.
um wait, yeah, before we get too high up, we glossed over Seattle, who is now 0-3.
Yeah, I want I want to drop Seattle.
Mm,
They lost.
I don't
by 6.
even care if they look better than they did last year. These D tier teams seem like they can win a game, and so far Seattle has not done that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a home game and it was against a team on a back-to-back, and they did worse than the Nitro did, even though they got the second day of the shred.
Put them in F tier. Put them in F tier.
I
I'm with
do
you.
think they're better than the Havoc, but I just like I don't know how good I think a team is. I can't really tier them if they're 0-3. They have to show me that they can win a game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They lost
I'm
to the
feeling bud.
Spiders in the shred.
Yeah. But yeah, can we kind of skipped over any movement of the Growlers? Can we move them
Yeah, I
down
wanted to
a
go
little
back.
bit in D tier?
I wanted to go
Yeah,
back to that because Pittsburgh is 1-0.
Yeah.
You know.
And honestly looked fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I think maybe just next to the Nitro somewhere, but I think they're maybe a cut above. I mean, they're right next to the Rascals who they beat.
Yeah, put them behind Nitro.
The
for
big
sure.
issue is this team hasn't played yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I don't know what
and
to
there's
do with
nothing
them.
we can do about that, you know. What was it? What team was it last year that didn't play for like or played one
The
game in 6
Growlers.
weeks? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What are you saying?
it'll
Are
just
you
happen.
saying this?
I'm saying that, and then maybe I don't know if this is nitpicky, but maybe the Growlers, it just feels like they should go down a little bit.
Yeah, put
Yeah.
them next to the Rascals.
Like this or like
No, the
No,
other way.
don't move the Rascals
this?
up, but
Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Well,
I don't know. What do you
Okay,
guys
and
think?
then should Toronto be ahead of them? Because Toronto did
that's what I
terrible.
was wondering too.
Yeah, Toronto was bad.
Put
They
Toronto
played the
between them.
Empire.
And the Glory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good at
they
home,
also
though.
like they
we
only
know
scored
Glory's.
they only scored 3 more goals than Philly did in that torrential downpour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
All right, put them between the Growlers and the Rascals. Just because the Growlers like had a closer game to the Summit than the Rush did to the Glory.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I don't think we can move the Phoenix up, but I feel like the Phoenix is such a fringe B team with how they play the Breeze. Like maybe it's just their matchups. Like it's just a good matchup for them. I don't
We
know.
I
keep
don't
going back and forth on this team. Like
I know. It's
sometimes we'll be
crazy.
like, oh, they're B, and then sometimes we're like, they look terrible. Like we were really low on them after that rainy week 1 game.
And then they lose to the Breeze by 1. Like they lost to them by 1 in the playoff game, and then they lost them by 1 yesterday. Like
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah,
This team's hot.
it's
Hot for
hard.
summer.
I think maybe that's why C is good for them because it's just kind of we don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And C, there's nothing wrong with being a C tier team. Yeah, I like a C tier team. I take you seriously if when C and above, basically, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
I think they stay at the top of C. They're just like
It's kind of like I don't
fringe.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think with their schedule this year, they're gonna kind of um stay around C because they're gonna keep losing since they have to play so many really good teams, even though they might get close in a lot of those losses or even take a game or two. Yeah, they're definitely not bad. So I think C makes sense.
Okay, cool. So the next question I want to ask, I think this is just kind of the next place we need to go here. So Phoenix is 0-2, right?
Yeah.
Our
I know where
beloved
you're
Alley
going with
Cats
this.
are
Yeah.
also 0-2. Am I correct?
Yeah.
They are.
Who has a better 0-2? And do they deserve to be in different tiers? Are they the same tier? What do we think?
Cats can't be in B tier. You can't go 0-2 and be in B tier.
Yep.
Because that's it. My only argument against dropping them is one of their L's is to the Hustle, who we'll get to this, but maybe
They're
Hustle
A-tier.
isn't a B tier team.
Hustle, I mean, they're A tier.
We're gonna get to that later.
Yeah, spoiler alert. But you lose to an A tier. A B team should lose to an A tier team. And then what's their other L? They just lost to
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
In a
but
close
Philly just
game.
lost to an S tier and an A tier, and they lost to
Yeah.
the A tier by 1.
So Philly does have the better. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
What
Kai
a
Kai?
surprise.
Hello.
Kai.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
wanted to I want to surprise you guys with a direct story from the Boston Glory game from our correspondent Kai Kai.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, I was boots on the ground. Let me just get a look at this tier list real quick before I say anything.
This is proprietary. Don't tweet this out yet.
Yeah, we're still in the,
Oh, yeah,
we're still in the
When
process.
I think I'll screenshot it and tweet it out before you publish the episode. Maybe I will
To,
do.
for context, we've started kind of from the bottom up, so we have not talked about the Hustle yet. We're about to talk about the Alley Cats, but we did already talk about the Rush, the Growlers, Cascades, and Nitro. And
Yeah, I'm liking the Legion and Mechanics. I'm liking the Rush. Did they move down a little bit?
yeah, they were
Yeah.
in C.
Oh yeah, that definitely. After seeing them live, they were not impressive to me at
Wow,
all.
4 of us were at Toronto Rush games this weekend.
It's crazy.
Did they impress any of us?
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, they were not. And Glory looked okay. I think C tier is good. But anyway, my big scandal that I think the AUDL should definitely look into. Apparently, so they did this halftime polling competition, and it was for kids 12 and younger. And I think the prize was like a glory frisbee or something. And there are all these middle schoolers next to us, and so they were like, okay, these ones are 12, they can go do it. Some of them were 13, 14, they couldn't do the competition. And these two kids come back having tied for first place, and they both had frisbees. And one of them goes up to his coach and says, "I'm actually 13." And I don't know,
Oh
my
my
jaw
God.
dropped. Like, this kid was 13 years old.
No.
And
The way
out
he
of his
just
own
flaunted
mouth,
that.
his own admission that he was not the legal age. So I think he should probably be stripped of his frisbee, stripped of his title, and maybe fined as well for malpractice. So
And shamed publicly.
Yeah, publicly shamed. So if you see this middle schooler, you should shame him.
Yeah, we should we'll tweet this clip out, get the Boston Glory's attention, and hopefully they can, figure out who this kid is and make sure he never goes to a game again.
Okay, actually,
and if
probably
anything,
don't do that. I don't think we should actually harass a 13-year-old.
the glory need to be more careful next time. They need to vet their competitors a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does it say about maybe their players on their team?
Could be 13.
Yeah,
I'm
how
just
many of
asking
them are
questions
13?
here. I'm just asking
Yeah.
questions. I'm not saying anything. I'm just.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Alo. It kind of brings the whole organization under question.
Yeah.
They might be hiding some other things if they're hiding this. So
who knows where it begins? This could be the tip of the iceberg.
yeah. So that's my 2 cents. Otherwise, what else? We watched Ryan, what was the game we watched on TV?
We watched the Summit Growlers game at home.
Oh yeah, the Growlers look terrible. So that's my other big revelation this weekend.
Kyle, who
What
looked
did you think
worse,
of
the Growlers or the Rush?
Well, probably Rush overall because the Growlers did kind of pull it together, but there were like 5 points where they looked like the worst frisbee team of all time. So
Kyle, what did you think of the Glory's fan experience or game day experience?
It was reminiscent of like a high school football game, and I did not go to a football high school, so yeah, just it was okay. The scoreboard wasn't working. The food was delayed. The beers were small, and you weren't really supposed to leave a beer garden area. We did, but it was just a little bit I guess underwhelming. So yeah,
I concur.
Were the beer cans like less than 12 fluid ounces or something? Or like
It was
no,
like
it was in a cup.
like a Dixie
Poured
cup?
into a cup.
It was like a clear plastic Dixie cup, like the size of a Dixie cup.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's tough.
Yeah, that's a tough look.
yeah. So, not as good as like a Bruins game or anything like that. So,
Makes
but
sense.
but they did have kids with giant flags that would run across whenever they scored. That was probably the highlight for all of us. So
That's pretty
How
cool.
old do we think they were?
originally they were like 6 and they could barely hold up the flags, and then some like older looking kids came in to for reinforcements throughout the game. So, but it was pretty cute early on when the 6-year-olds were like being like they were about to like fly away in the wind, like being carried by the flag. So that was pretty funny, but it was cool.
All right.
Right on.
Well, we appreciate
Wow.
your insight, Kyle, and thank you for the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, thanks for letting
Kyle's corner.
me drop in. I'm gonna go put my towels in the laundry. So I'm excited to see the full episode when it comes out.
All right. Best of luck
All
with your
right.
laundry.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kyle. Thanks for popping in.
All right. That was lovely.
That was great.
Anyway, back to business. C tier cats.
Yes, where were we? Oh, yes. I was trying to
yeah.
argue. I'm trying to argue against C tier cats, but
Okay.
maybe we should dig into the numbers a little bit. How do their look under the hood? Some of their offensive efficiency stats, maybe.
It's tough because you kind of have to throw out the like Empire Phoenix numbers since the weather was so awful.
Right. I'm thinking maybe like let's just look at the Alley Cats and just see if you can just objectively. I'm trying to pull some things up here, just team stats.
I feel like if you look at any team stats, it'll all depend on their competition, and then you got to factor that and this and that when you compare this and that. If we're just talking about, B tier, C tier, Phoenix hasn't won a game yet. They're not in B tier. Glory just beat a team by 11, and they're only in C tier. The Cats are 0-2, and I think if they beat Windchill, they're still in B tier. But because they didn't beat Windchill, there's no way we can keep them in B tier if Windchill is at the bottom of B tier. And it's not a knock of the Cats. Like, I don't think there's that big of a drop between B and C. I think if anything, that's like the closest. Those two tiers are like very similar.
Yeah.
Well, Cats are third in the league in completion percentage. That's pretty good.
They also have. Oh, actually,
They're
this is
dumb
directly
merchants.
related. They have the third fewest turnovers per game. That's the same stat basically.
Yeah. So I mean that's pretty good. Are they losing by a lot? Scores against?
No, there was a 2-point game against Minnesota, but I think it was probably like a 5-6 point game against the Hustle.
Yeah, but I mean the Hustle are really good.
Also are really good.
Ooh, Alley Cats are they're up there in scores against. They get scored. They allow a lot of goals.
Mm-hmm. I'm
They
with Ryan
also
on moving them down for the record.
they are averaging 5.5 blocks per game. Only the Nitro and the Flyers are worse.
Yeah,
They're also only averaging 2.5 breaks per game, this says.
and they're just squarely in the middle in terms of like O-line conversion. They're 51.79% O-line conversion percentage. Okay.
I think they did just have a shitty first game. And like even if they had been playing well, I think the Hustle probably would have won that game because the Hustle played amazing. But I do think like they're better than what they showed in that first game. But yeah, I mean, they're right next to Minnesota and they just lost. And like I don't know, that's 2 B tier losses, even though Hustle probably that's an A tier loss. And Philly lost to S tier and A tier.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, it's sad, but it is what it
C-tier
is, I
Cats.
guess.
I definitely think that I don't know, maybe they should be above the Hotbirds.
No.
I kind of feel like I don't know. I would not be surprised if the Alley Cats went out and beat Minnesota the next time they played. They beat the Union the next time they played. I don't really feel super confident that Philly is going to beat DC the next time they play. But maybe that's not the
but that's a
same.
different comparison.
Yeah.
Like I think the top of the Central is nowhere close to the like I think the top Central teams are all going to be B and C and like just kind of rotate based on their results. Like it took a lot for us to spoiler alert move the Hustle up to A. So I mean, unless one of these teams just takes care of business, like I don't think we're going to be that impressed with the Central in general.
Yeah, right, I guess that's fair.
And like, yeah, I don't know. Alley Cat's loss to Hustle is the closest comparison we have to Philly's loss to DC, and Philly's loss was better. So
yeah.
All right, Sam, you're driving a hard bargain. I can live with this.
Cool.
Something interesting maybe I want to throw in because I was just trying to look for some Cats stats. Minnesota had a great game. So credit to them. They completed 96% of their passes. Great. I mean, obviously small sample size, but and their O-line conversion was great. They just played a clean, really clean game. And it just kind of makes me wonder, like, how do we feel about them next to the Aviators? Obviously a nitpicky thing, but like, does one deserve, do we like Aviators above Winchell still?
No, I'm with you, Andrew, if you're going where I think you're going.
I don't really know where I'm going.
In my mind, I was going to advocate for Winchell over Union where things are right now.
I was also.
I'm fine with that too.
Because, like small sample size, I don't know if we saw enough to compare to the Soul really. But, I mean, Union haven't played, so hard to argue they should be above them. And then Aviators lost, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Aviators were definitely still high on them. I mean, they look like they've got some pieces to put together that, they might compete in the West. I think if they like really like hunker down on their game plan, they can really give it to the Summit and maybe take a game against them. And maybe against the Shred. That'll be exciting to see how they do against the Shred.
Yeah. I think this was the Aviator Summit was obviously I was watching this after having just gotten home from the Grateful Dead show, so I was a little
sober.
I was trying to watch it, but I wasn't paying super close attention. But just based on it just kind of felt like it's a new team and maybe they didn't. I don't know. It felt like there's a lot of turnovers. They did not feel like the chemistry was totally there yet. But there's definitely a lot of potential, tons of potential with the team, tons of talent. And they kind of got more comfortable as the game went on, it seemed like.
Yeah, and their offense looked a little shaky, but they didn't have Brendan to throw a flick because he was at college regional. So
Brendan was at college.
If they have Brendan throw a flick, I was really shocked that it was Jason Valley was the reset handler for Pavel, and I guess that's why it took me a second to put that together. But yeah, I think with Brendan throwing flick, the offense will look stronger, and then with chemistry built up for this kind of new team. Yeah, I still have hope. I think they should clean the B.
Yeah.
I think it's impressive also that they only lost by 3 to the Summit, who are a tenured team and one of the best teams in the league, and they held the Summit to 18 points. I don't know. I thought it was solid. I will say I think the Summit really need to worry more about their turnovers, because they turned it over 26 times and the Aviators just happened to turn it over 29 times. But the Summit had 26 turnovers on 7 Aviator blocks, which means 19 throwaways or drops or just turnovers that were not blocks.
Or stalls.
On the other side, it was 17 stalls. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But the Summit had 17 blocks, which led to 29 LA turnovers. So they had 10 more blocks, and it only led to 3 more turnovers because it seems like the Summit just, I don't know, I don't know if it was because of throwaways or if it was because of drops, but I guess I can go look that up. But anyway, a similar thing happened in their Growlers game. It was a lot closer, but it was 16 turnovers on only 7 blocks. So I don't know. Obviously, 16 turnovers is like pretty solid, but I feel like they need to worry a lot more about where their turnovers are coming from.
100%.
Yeah, that's a really good point. They really need to tighten it up. If like they can probably cruise over all these teams in the West. Maybe the Shred will, give them a run for their money, but like come championship weekend, like, assuming things go well for them, like that's not gonna fly,
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe there's a conversation coming later. Once we move Hustle up, we've been alluding to this the whole time. But anyway, I don't want to get too far ahead. But where are we at now?
Let's just knock out. So the Soul demolished Dallas, and then the Shred took care of business in an iffy game against Nitro, and then a pretty solid win over Seattle. Do we feel that those warrant any movement, or are we just kind of standing pat with those?
I think the Soul look pretty good. I
There's
think
an
their
argument
results,
to bump them up.
Yeah, I think their results are like the only reason to not bump them up. Where like, if you look at how they played and you look at their stats, you look up the number of points they've put up, like obviously they've been playing shitty teams, but I do think I think maybe the Havoc were like lucky to come out in that first half and, be leading at some point, because I don't think any of us think like the Soul in the first half of that Havoc game are the actual Soul, and then the Soul breaking out in the second half was just like the Soul getting lucky.
Joel, I
think the Soul are a good team.
I think I agree with you, and kind of to lead into that, can we just flip-flop the Flyers and the Hustle and then talk about B tier?
Yeah.
Wait, we should be more dramatic about it.
All right. The Flyers are 0-2, and they cannot be an A tier no more.
Carolina Frisbee is over?
Carolina? Oh, shit.
Thumbnail.
Is Carolina Frisbee over? I mean, there's Carolina bias. There's no other 0-2 team in B tier right now.
Carolina bias is keeping them in B tier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've also only played 2 A tier teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So have the Hotbirds.
So have the Hotbirds. But one of them was at championship weekend last year. So
Well, the Hotbirds lost by 1 to the Breeze, and Carolina lost by 5, 4, 5.
All right, let's talk
Oh.
about this B tier then.
Flyers in
Yeah.
C.
Flyers
wasn't-
should not be the top. They should not be the top.
I wasn't even coming into this suggesting that they should be dropped now, but I just this argument has to be said.
Okay, listen.
They can't be above teams that have won multiple games. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there.
Yeah, totally fair.
How much do we want to cut them slack for missing Gooch and was Eric
None.
Taylor out of
Yeah,
both of the games?
I think he's very injured. I don't think he's going to be back for a little while.
Oh, okay. Well, then I mean, and then at the other hand, at the other point, we really shit on teams for like not traveling well and not having their full squad there. Like we clearly have a history of there's precedent for us taking that into stock. And if your players aren't there and you're losing games, then what do we,
Yeah.
how much benefit of the doubt can we give you? So I don't know.
I hate to like penalize a team because of injuries, but that's what the team is. If players come back and then they get better, then clearly they'll rise up. But
Yeah.
I don't feel like they just like happened to have an injury that was out for like a game and then they played terribly and we're just like, oh, they're going to be back next week. Like we don't want to be too harsh, but I don't think there's anything that suggests Carolina is going to just rebound next week and like beat the Hustle. They lost pretty handedly both these games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of see them in between Seoul and Minnesota right now.
Yeah, because that's the other thing is like, I think they probably beat Minnesota, but also the Minnesota stats look good, but I don't really know. Like, I guess they're also playing in the Dome too.
Yeah.
The Dome.
So maybe that's fair. Maybe square in the middle of B. It feels high for an 0-2 team, but I mean, it is Carolina. I do think I do think they beat Philly. I think they beat the Cats. I think they beat the Glory. I think they beat Oakland.
Yeah, they might even beat the Soul. The Soul have 2 shitty teams that they've played, but the Soul are doing
find out.
They're 0-2. It would be unfair to the Soul, I think, to not do it like this.
Soul took care of business.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Last order of business. How are we ordering this A tier?
That's a good question.
In my heart of hearts,
we're gonna hop over the shred. They're not 8th tier. They're 3-0.
They're not A tier.
I think they're top of B.
Yeah.
Who have they played?
They've played the Cascades twice and the Nitro.
They beat the Nitro by 2. Like, if they beat them by 15, maybe we talk A tier. But so far, they've done exactly what I think we've all expected them to do.
Yeah, I think they're top of B right now. Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, do we think like I don't know. Like on one hand, I think that the Hustle have looked like a better team on paper.
They deserve it.
Maybe than the Summit. But in
Ryan
my gut, like I kind of still think the Summit are better. Like
right now, the way the Summit have played the last 2 games, and just from like someone who watched every single game last year and watched the games this year, like they were missing their second fiddle. And no offense to Sam Goldstein, he actually played a great game, but not having Alex Atkins, not having Danny Landisman, like their team just didn't look the same like they did last year. And I wonder how it's gonna look. I wonder if this is also Kai Marshall on O-line, kind of nice. I was expecting him to play D-line, but he was pretty good on O-line. I think they have to be behind the Hustle, and I think they have to earn themselves the right to be better and kind of like stomp on maybe a Cascades or a Nitro or something like that, like we've seen them do in the past. But they just didn't look dominant this weekend, and the Hustle did.
Yeah, I buy that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, the Hustle are 3rd in huck percentage at almost 80. They're 2nd in completion percentage, just behind the wind chill. They are 1st in O-line conversion percentage, They are fourth in D-line conversion percentage. They are fourth in red zone conversion percentage at 90%. Their break percent is a little bit low, but I don't know. With the high D-line conversion percentage, I guess that's not really something to worry about. They're just like an efficient ass team. They threw like 98% against the Alley Cats. Yeah, it's great. They look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Also-
I thought Ryan would put up more of a fight, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the Hustle earned it. They played really well. You know,
Yeah.
this is less of like maybe us knocking the Summit down to punish them. Like I want to see it as like we're rewarding the Hustle for looking really solid.
Yeah.
I have a tangent, but I just want to say, are we set on this tier list? Is there anything? Do we want to quickly review it and like change anything, or?
Let's take a look. All right, Empire Nest. A tier goes Breeze Hustle Summit. B goes Shred Soul Flyers, Windchill Union Aviators, and then C goes Phoenix Alley Cats, Glory Spiders.
The Spiders are weird, but I don't think we've seen them enough.
Yeah, I think we need
Yeah.
more because I could see them going up, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Then D Nitro Thunderbirds, the Royal, who haven't played yet, the Growlers, the Rush, the Rascals. Then F, we have Seattle and Houston, and then Mechanics, we have Dallas and Detroit.
I like it.
Yeah,
It's pretty funny that
no complaints.
Pittsburgh rose like 3 places by not playing, but I like it all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my tangent is, and I'll just say this, I think they'd all be great, but what team do you guys think would be the best in the Dome? And I think the Summit or the Shred, specifically the Summit, because I think the Summit are just a better version of the Shred. I think the Summit in a Dome would be unstoppable because all of their throwaways would just be insane. Like Nethercut had 8 throwaways. Like imagine him in a Dome.
That's true. What about the
I
Empire?
personally think it would
I
be
think
the
Empire would be the
Empire.
best in the Dome because of the best team.
Are you asking who would receive the highest bump and how good they are from being in a dome all the
I
time?
think so. I mean, I'm being very vague with it because
Yeah.
it's just you don't.
It's an abstract question.
Like if you put the Summit versus Empire in the Dome, I'm still taking the Empire.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like
That'd be cool.
I want to see Nethercut do Nethercut stuff in a Dome.
I would love to see Philly in a dome, the way they play offense.
Yeah, they're really Huck heavy.
Okay.
I think the Hustle would take a dip because their whole thing is their zone, and
Yeah.
being in a dome just makes that so much easier to. There's a lot more throws you can do, more consistent.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Well,
cool.
All right. That's over with.
That was a tier list.
That was a tier list.
It's a good tier list.
Hold on.
Woo-hoo.
Time for the look ahead.
All right, Ryan.
Do we want to do lines again?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
By the way, those lines, because I was talking to the Tilted Land Shark about those lines, like I think I was like 60 or 70% of my lines were like off by 1 or 2 goals. So
Hell yeah.
Not bad.
Very good.
but then some of them were blowouts, but like that just happens.
Yeah.
All right. Austin Soul, Atlanta Hustle, traveling to Atlanta. We are gonna open up this line at Hustle minus 2.5.
I will take the Hustle.
I like the Hustle.
I will also take the Hustle.
I'm gonna take the Soul here, giving me
All right.
3 points. I think they can keep it close.
Okay.
Definitely. That's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bigger game.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Soul against a good team.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to the AUDL schedule makers this year.
Mm-hmm.
This
Except
is
for the Union not playing.
We should not skip past this, but this is the Soul Hustle game. This is the only Soul Hustle game this season. This game could determine the playoff spot. It is the only game this season. The Soul have
Never
a
mind.
very easy schedule. The Hustle have a tougher schedule, but look great. This game could determine like who is first or second in the Central.
Yeah.
in
That's crazy.
the
In the
South.
South. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we already
This is a
saying that
huge
the
game.
Flyers are third?
No, I'm saying it could determine who's going to be first, or it could determine who's going to be second. Between second and third.
Gotcha.
That's
I mean, I
nuts.
guess it could be who's going to be third or out if the Havoc end up playing great. But
True.
yeah, no, it's a big game. It's a very big game.
All right.
All right.
In LA, there's Portland travel. I'm gonna go Aviators minus 2.5 again.
Against
I think this is
Portland.
gonna be a close one. So that's a 3-point difference
Ooh.
there.
Give me Portland.
It's gonna sound like I'm just copying Sam, but I think Nitro played close last week. It's a road game, so I don't really know. But Leandro Marks, shout out to that picture of him with his butt like on someone's head. Like
Yeah.
that dude
Crazy,
can will
man.
a team to lose by 2 points. So give me Portland.
He did it last week.
Yeah.
My initial thought was to go Portland, also because Rafi Hayes looked really good too. He had
Yeah.
some insane sky that game over like 3 people.
Okay,
But
as soon as I said it, I was thinking about being on the fence. If I change this line to Aviators minus 1.5, does that change Andrew, Joe, Sam? Does that make it more interesting?
I was already maybe going to say Aviators anyway.
All right,
I
stick it
was
at
kinda-
minus. Stick it at 2.5. Stay at 2.5.
Yes.
I think I am gonna go Aviators. I think Portland looked good last week. And I think the Aviators looked kind of bad last week, but in a way that like the Aviators didn't play up to their potential. And if a 3-point loss to the Summit isn't playing up to your potential, I kind of feel like they might have it figured out next week.
Yeah, I'm with Joe here. Aviators rising. Also, E-Money was totally sick last week, so we didn't really get a full performance out of him, and he still is second in the game in goals. So yeah,
And no
Aviators
Brendan.
and no Brendan, and no Flick.
Yeah.
And potentially celebration of the year. Thank you, Alley Cat's own Fletcher Hare, for tweeting that to us. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh man. All
All right. Moving on to Phoenix Glory. Keynote to our fans that this is Joe's birthday.
Yes.
So buy some merch for him for his birthday.
Yeah.
All right, Phoenix Glory.
In Boston, I think we're all gonna be on the same side here, but I'm gonna go pick them. I'm gonna put this right at the middle.
Love that.
Boston looked hot. They killed the rush. Phoenix looked good in a close loss.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna go first here, and I'm gonna say Phoenix. I think they travel well here and win.
Yeah.
I'm certainly going Phoenix.
I kind of just want to pick the Glory, even though I don't really think it'll happen. I think I'm gonna go Glory.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go Phoenix too. Granted, I did not watch them beat Toronto, but we're also pretty low in Toronto right now. They need that.
Wait, where are you going?
Phoenix. I'm going Phoenix. I think they're due.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this game's gonna be close, and I really think it is a pick 'em. I thought we'd all pick Phoenix in hoping that Boston would kind of show us up and just win this game outright.
Oh, I can change.
Your East playoff.
No, Sam's smart.
Well, I did say I don't think they're gonna do it. So
yeah.
All right. Next we got a Canada game. Royal opens at the Rush.
No idea. Pick him again.
Yeah.
Zero clue.
I'm going Rush.
I'm gonna go Royal because we got friend of the pod Brandon Bay on the Royal.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I'll go Royal. Show me something Royal. Royal.
There you go.
I am gonna go Rush with this one. I think they've got enough good players that they can turn it on someday.
Yeah, I heard a lot of pessimism about the Royals, so I kind of, after seeing like the Growlers kind of live up to their pessimism, I believe the Royal will too.
Yeah, I do too. I'm just saying that because I know Brandon's watching. I really want to pick the Rush,
Cut
but I
that,
won't.
cut
I'll
that,
stick with it.
cut that.
Cut that.
All right. Next, we have a battle of
Oh!
Titans. We've got Pittsburgh at Detroit. Give it to us, Ryan.
I loved how before any games ever happened, we were kind of like telling ourselves that Pittsburgh was worse than Detroit. And then Pittsburgh comes out here, beats the Rascals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Thunderbirds minus 3.5.
Give me T-Birds.
Give me T-Birds all day.
Man, why would I bet? Why would I put money on the Mechanics?
I know,
Why?
I know.
That feels terrible. I'm T-Bird. Like, come on.
Sam, so like I'm also going T-Birds minus 3.5, and I think this is a Vegas line where like the Mechanics keep it close. I feel like last year they kind of kept it close.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, this is a Vegas line where like you can't bet on the Mechanics.
You can't.
But you know they're gonna lose by 3, and
Yeah.
just cover.
Mm-hmm. All right. Then the Soul on a back-to-back go to Carolina.
Ooh,
Oof,
Oh,
that is
man.
tough.
this is a hard one.
Straight pick 'em. We got a lot of good games this week.
We really do.
Soul on a back-to-back. Actually, no, what? I'm changing that. Flyers minus 1.5.
Yeah, that's the right call, I think, because I was just
Carolina-
gonna pick Flyers.
Yeah, Flyers minus 1.5 because it's in Carolina. It's on a back-to-back. They might have Gucci Johannes back.
Yeah, I'm Flyers. I'm still Flyers.
Give me Austin. I think the Flyers keep disappointing me, and I expect that to continue.
Yeah, give me Austin too here.
I don't want to say that Austin goes 0-2 this weekend because that feels wrong, but I do think the order of the games played is going to make a difference. I think if it was the Carolina in the first game of this back-to-back, I think I would have taken Austin, but I'm going to go Carolina because I think they're going to lose to the Hustle in the first game.
Alrighty. The Texas showdown. Houston at
Am I the only one who took
Dallas.
Carolina?
No, I took
No,
Carolina.
Alu took Carolina.
Oh, okay.
All right. We got. What is this
Have it.
number? God, man.
So many games on Saturday. Jesus.
Havoc minus. I'll go Havoc minus 4.5. And this might be my biggest. I don't know. But it can't be close because Legion just got shat on by the Soul in that first half. So Havoc minus 4.5. That's a 5-point cover there. Yeah.
I'm going to go Legion. I know last week I said never bet on the Legion, but I think they actually did cover when they lost by 14 instead of 14.5.
I think they did too, because the people I shared my spreads with the Tilted Pod, and they were like messaging us last minute, like a last minute cover. That was crazy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Legion.
I'm gonna go Houston because never bet on the Legion.
Yeah,
What
I'm also
is-
going Houston here.
What's the line again?
4.5.
Oh man, why would I bet on for in favor of Houston?
Yes,
Yeah.
Houston minus 4.5.
Oh man. Oh man. I guess I'll go Legion. I mean, I don't think Houston's that much better than them.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, kind of a boring game. We've got Empire at the Breeze. And look out for me and Joe at that one. And bring him a birthday present.
All right. All right, I'm gonna switch it up here. Instead of doing a half point, you have the opportunity to push your bet. I'm gonna go Empire minus 2.
What does that mean?
So
Just set our
if
own
the
thing?
Empire, what?
Just set our own.
No, so like it's the Empire minus 2. So for example,
Oh, I
if you
see.
if you pick the Breeze and they lose by exactly 2, your bet pushes. You don't win or lose.
Okay.
So it's like inside outside goalpost.
Yeah.
Nah, kinda. Yeah. No, because you don't lose on goalposts. You would push on goalposts.
Okay. whatever. I get it.
-2.
It's Empire -2.
I'll take the Empire.
Oh,
Fuck
my
it.
heart.
Breeze. I'm
Go
My
taking
heart and
Breeze.
my brain. My
I'm
heart and my
taking
brain.
I'm taking the Breeze.
Yeah.
They're gonna bring me a birthday win.
Yeah, I'm going Breeze. I'm going Breeze.
I
But my
just think
brain is saying no.
I just think the Breeze can keep it within. Give me 2 points with the Breeze.
Let's go.
All right.
Wait, can I call push? Do I win a lot of money if I say push?
You can bet the exact margin of score.
Well, you don't win any money
yeah,
no
yeah.
matter what.
Yeah, wait,
Hate to break it to you, Joe.
So if the Empire win by 2 and I say that, I would make a lot of money.
Then if you say that, then you win this segment on the show for the rest of the season. But if that doesn't happen, you lose for the rest of the season.
Oh,
All right,
shit.
take it all.
Why not? Week 3. Fuck it.
What if you lose, you have to be silent during the next one?
All right.
But if you
I'll let
win,
you guys choose.
if you win, then the
if I
rest of us
lose,
have to be
all right.
silent.
I like it. I like it.
That makes
yeah,
for
okay,
a great
all right.
podcast episode.
I'll take Empire -2, and if it happens, I get to choose for all of you guys what you take for each of the lines.
Perfect.
But if I lose, you guys get to choose for me what I take for all the lines, and I'll just be quiet.
Okay.
All right, bet.
Perfect.
All right,
Great
I choose push.
All right. Cool. Next, Alley Cats Union. Friends of the pod going head to head. This is an exciting game. This will hopefully bring some clarity to this central division. That's so confusing.
I think I gotta go Union minus. Wow. Oh, it's tough. Union minus 2.5 here.
That is really tough.
It's a big line, I think.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take the Cats for that. I'm gonna take the Cats for that.
I'm gonna take Union. I just think they've got the depth that Chicago talent has.
I'm gonna go Cats. I think.
All right.
All right.
Then Shred at Spiders.
Yeah, that seems like Shred minus 2.5 makes sense to me.
Spiders gave him a good game last year, I remember.
Yeah. And
this is the real test for the Spiders here. Like, are you guys for real?
Yeah, I think this is actually a really cool game.
Yo, Mac Hecht's out there. Huge game changer for them.
Give me Shred.
Give me Shred also, but
2.5,
I think
right?
it's gonna be
2.5.
I think it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, 2.5.
Give me Spiders.
Yeah, give me Spiders. I think Shred probably still win, but I think Spiders playing close.
Yeah.
Alrighty. The Summit home opener at the new stadium, hosting Seattle, who's 0-3. Yeah. What you got, Ryan?
Give me Summit minus 7.5.
I will take the Summit. That's a big one, though.
I will also take the Summit.
Cascades have shown the precedent that at least like Khalif and Garrett Martin will travel, and they turn it over a lot. But also, like, what did you say, 7.5?
Yeah.
Oh man, that is such a big margin.
Yeah, I think Khalif and Garrett Martin if they just have them, they make them good enough to only lose by like 10. So I'm gonna go Summit.
Yeah. I'll be the lone. Oh man, it doesn't feel good betting on the Cascades. Give me Summit.
All right.
You were the lone Seattle last week against the Shred.
You learned.
Did it pay off?
I don't know. It was a 6.5 line. What was the game?
I think
it was a 6-point game. Yeah,
it was 6. He won.
So I won.
Wow.
Yay me.
Are you gonna do it again or no? Going
Fuck
Summit?
no.
Little self props. How good was that line, man?
That was really good line.
yeah.
That was very good.
Alrighty.
Right.
Last
Nitro
game.
-1.5 against the Growlers.
Nitro on a back-to-back. Not sure if you factored that.
Yeah, it's really Leandro Marks and Leandro Marks and Leandro Marks.
Right.
He put his butt on someone's face. And the guy was standing
I want to
up.
do that. Give me the Nitro.
See?
Give me the
you're
Nitro.
Like on a back-to-back, and we're all, and give me Nitro too.
Well, I didn't actually think about it yet. I just wanted to make sure you had factored
What's the line,
that in.
Ryan?
1.5, right?
Yeah, Nitro
Yeah.
-1.5.
I think that Nitro are just like a little more talented if those dudes actually show up and go on the road trip. So
Yeah.
I'll go Nitro.
Yeah, I think this game could really go either way. I think this game could be close or either side blown out. Like if Nitro doesn't travel, like last year, the Growlers were just a better team. Now the Growlers lost some players, but
Mhm.
Yeah,
so
it'll be interesting.
we'll see.
All
right.
right.
That was a podcast.
This
Indeed.
has been an episode of I'm Open, brought to
I'm
you
Open.
by
Open.
Ringer the
Subscribe.
Ultimate.
Subscribe. If you made it this far,
And
subscribe.
buy
We'll pay you
merch.
money if you subscribe.
Yeah.
And
What-
hashtag
Venmo
get
request
Sam a
me.
chair.
Get
Venmo
Sam a
request
chair.
Actually, yeah.
Investigate
If you subscribe, we'll
glories.
pay you money,
halftime
but-
show.
but then you have to buy a shirt.
Yeah. Definitely
Deal?
investigate the Boston Glory. Pay us money, or what were you saying? We'll pay you money.
Yeah. If they
All right,
subscribe.
I'm Open.